Hey guys, this is Heather from healthyveganrecipes.net. So if you've been following along on my nutrition blog, which is healthyeatingstartshere.com, you will know that I've been talking about detoxing for the last month. And one of the most important aspects of a detox is how you transition back and maintaining a healthy diet for the long term. So the first thing you want to do to transition back is just slowly incorporate some of the foods that are healthy but that you've cut out. So if you're doing a fast, you're going to want to start with some fresh produce, vegetables, fruits. Start with raw, cooked, steamed but not cooked with oil. Start with those kinds of things and then slowly work your way into grains and seeds, and then go to legumes and nuts. So what I'm going to show you today is how to incorporate grains back, and so this will be for people who have cut grains out and are working their way back through with lots of vegetables and some fruit and getting to grains. So one of the key things you want to remember is that if you cook your grains with a lot of water, they're easier to digest and easier on your system as it gets back in the swing of things. So what you do to cook the grains with a lot of water is just the same way you would cook grains normally and add more water. What I'm going to do today is some buckwheat. So there's my buckwheat, and for those of you who want to skip ahead to the recipe, just head over to healthyveganrecipes.net and I'll post the full recipe there for you. Now you can use toasted buckwheat, which is called Kasha, or just regular buckwheat. This is regular, so it is kind of a greenish brown color. The toasted buckwheat, the Kasha, is like a reddish brown. Okay, the difference being that this buckwheat is going to take about half an hour to cook, whereas Kasha, because it's already partially cooked from toasting, is going to take about 10 minutes. So this is about 3/4 of a cup. This is for Phil and I. Phil eats quite a bit, but because I'm cooking it with a lot of water, I'm not doing a full cup. Now normally what I would put in for a cup, or for 3/4 of a cup of dry grain, would be a cup and a half, so twice the volume of the grains. But because I want to cook this with a lot of water, I'm going to do 2 to 2.5 cups. You can even do up to 3. If you want to make this into a soup as well, that's an excellent way to cook grains, because they just, as long as they have water, they're just going to keep on expanding. So there's 2 cups, and I'm going to do 2.5 because I like them nice and moist. Then just turn this to high to get it boiling. And normally I would add a pinch of salt, but because we're coming off a detox, I'm going to avoid salt and just let this cook. It might take a little bit longer, but that's okay. Alright, so up to high, get it covered, that'll help it boil faster. And then as soon as it's boiling, you're going to turn it down to minimum and let it simmer. One thing people don't always realize about grains is that you can't actually overcook them. As long as the grain has enough water, it'll just keep cooking, keep getting softer, keep getting bigger. So this will take a little bit more time for the water to absorb because there's more of it, but you can't overcook the grain. It's just going to get softer and easier for you to digest. And I'm going to leave that to cook. I've got my vegetables ready to go, but I'm going to wait until this is finished cooking to cut them up. I've got a tomato, some broccoli, some lettuce, and some green onion. Nice, fresh, non-starchy vegetables are a great pair to keep this meal really simple and really easy to process after going through a cleanse. So there is my fully cooked buckwheat, very soft, as you can probably hopefully see. As I mix it with a fork, it starts to fall apart, so you don't want to mix it too much, otherwise it'll become kind of a gooey mess. Alright, now I've got a plate, just some lettuce, broccoli, tomato, and green onion chopped up into a salad. If you want to steam your broccoli lightly, you can put it in with the buckwheat right at the very end. Then I'm going to season my buckwheat with just a little bit of lemon juice. If you have some fresh herbs, really nice as well. I don't have any today, but parsley would be excellent in here. Just give it a light stir there, and then you can top your salad with this. Now the nice thing about using grains on a salad is that I was going to add a little bit more lemon juice, but I could smell it and decided that I don't need it. Sorry, interrupted my train of thought. So the nice thing about putting a cooked grain on a salad is that you don't even need any salad dressing. And when you're coming out of a detox, that's a good thing to avoid. You just want to take it easy on the oils. And you also don't want to have too large portions, so I'm going to leave it there. And then it's always nice to have just a little bit of fat content. So rather than oil, what I'm going to use is this toasted coconut and just a little sprinkle on top there to make it beautiful, delicious, and filling. So there you go, a buckwheat salad. Perfect way to transition your way out of a detox. I will post the recipe for you guys at healthyveganrecipes.net, and if you're curious about detoxing, be sure to check out my nutrition blog at healthyeatingstartshere.com.